Welcome back. So, oh man, so this is what I'm about to show you is because I'm not a game expert. As a matter of fact, this is my first 3D game, and there was a fundamental flaw in it. Um, Even though we're looking at this in 3D, and by the way, let me blow this up here. So in 3D, we see north side, the left. This is where the avatar is, right? So the left side right here, those are the north side doors, the left side doors, the right side doors, which are the south side doors. In 3D, it looks like 10 doors. It's not in the state, all the variables and all the values and all that. It's just direction. Am I facing north or am I facing south? There's not 10 doors. 10 doors aren't tracked. Only 5 slots are tracked. And so why is that a big deal? Well, I'll show you right here. By the way, just show you, I added some history. So, uh, by the way, something, I don't know if that's, yeah, I did turn. Okay, so these are all the movements I've made, all the turns that I've made. Anyway, I'm going to open the door, and that, by the way, shows as me opening the door. I'm going to try to go through, but I can't go through. By the way, I can't go through a closed door either. So I tried to go into empty space, and I closed the door, and I ran into the closed door. So now I'm going to open the door. There it is. I opened the door right there. Okay. Now I'm going to create a tunnel. I have created a tunnel. I'm going to transition. That is transition. Finally, I'm in the tunnel. And there I'm in the tunnel. Okay, now, anyway, let's keep going. So here's the problem. The problem is because remember I told you there's only 5 doors. There's not 10 doors. That's a fake hallway view. There, now I find myself in 2B. So far, so good. But because there are only 5 doors, in other words, this door is the same as this door for all practical purposes. When I open that door, even though we know there's not a tunnel, it looks like there's a tunnel. That is a big deal. Now I started a new game to show you how really crazy this is. If I come in from a different hallway, so oh gosh, so I'm coming in from the south, right? There's no tunnel because remember this hallway, even though it only has tracks 5 doors, neither side has a tunnel. So I can create a tunnel going that way, all right? And I'm actually okay. There is a tunnel there, so I can do straight through, but I got to come in from 2 different sides. Anyway, I just want to say that my problem is, and I didn't know what I was doing, is that these halls only track 5 doors, not 10. Ugh. Now, there is one thing that might save me, sort of, is that thank God I early on, not early on, but early enough on, I have at the lowest level the game state in a separate file, and I created a file that's the facade. And all the upper level code, I've tried my best to make sure that it does not access the game state directly, but only the facade. So I might be able to, for example, change this in here to track 10 doors per hall instead of 5 doors per hall, like left side, right side, whatever. And, do the smarts in here that depending on what the upper level code wants, are we talking one side of the hallway or the other side of the hallway? So, but I still have to deal with Gemini, and it's limited in how much it remembers, and it's a real struggle too. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Now, the good news is though that had I not had this history, this, if I didn't have that, and if I didn't have a snapshot of the state of the game, that I could paste both of these to Gemini and then try to explain what I did, my scenario, what I did, I wouldn't even have found this out because I wasn't looking at the nitty gritty details of the state to begin with. It was working and I was letting it go. But between the 2 things that I've added for diagnostics and feeding them to Gemini, it dawned on me what the issue was.